So, folks, this week, the 49ers have officially clinched the NFC conference. The Ravens have officially clinched the AFC conference. The Lions have officially clinched their division, and the Eagles have committed the 4 C's. They can't cover, they can't pass rush, they can't stop the run, and they can't fucking tackle. Find out more on the Fumble Forecast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Fumble Forecast. I'm Thomas, your host today, and this is my man's Marcus. We have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to just jump right into it. The obvious thing that we're going to be talking about this week is the Eagles lost to the Cardinals. It was the most pathetic thing that I have ever watched with my own actual physical eyeballs, and I think it's horrible. So let me address the 4 C's first. They can't cover. Dortch lit them the fuck up. Dortch, some no-name fucking scrub who has not had a good game all fucking season, had 82 receiving yards in this game. The Eagles can't cover. The second C, can't pass rush. We had 1 sack against a 3-win team. We can't pass rush. It's terrible. I don't know what the scheme's going, but they're working on something, apparently. They're cooking it up. I actually have a little bit of a reason why I think they can't pass rush, but I'm going to get to that in a second. The third C, they can't stop the run. James Conner rushed 128 yards on the Eagles today. This was by far his best game of the season from a team that we were expecting to have an extraordinarily fantastic defense going into the season. And the fourth C, they can't tackle. Nobody on this team can fucking tackle, apparently, except for Reed Blankenship. He is the top tackler on the team, for those of you who did not know. He has the most tackles on the season. And he plays all the way in the backfield for the most part, if you guys weren't aware. That's pathetic. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. The Cowboys are going to win the division. The Commanders aren't going to beat the Cowboys. It's not going to happen. If it happens, I will literally streak naked down the fucking street and scream. I will.
He'll fucking do it too.
It's not going to happen. The Commanders are going to lose to the Cowboys, unless the Cowboys don't have their starters, but if they didn't start their starters, they'd be fucking dumb. So yeah, they're going to beat the Commanders, which means that the Eagles are automatically at best in 5th place going into the playoffs. So you're going to tell me that the Eagles, who can't beat the Cardinals in Philadelphia, are going to go literally anywhere in the playoffs and win even 1 playoff game. I'd be shocked if they managed to win a playoff game away, let alone at home. At home, with home field advantage, I think the Eagles would have had a chance to get to the NFC Championship. But with being in 5th place, I find that to be very slim to none that they're going to win even 1 playoff game. And I'm going to just throw it out there. It is the defense's fault that they lost this game. The offense did everything they possibly could to have a good game this week. And it just was not happening in this game. The Eagles have been given chance after chance after chance of golden opportunities every single week to take the NFC conference, to take the division, to put the Cowboys in their place, to beat the fucking Seahawks, to do literally fucking anything. And yet, they can't even muster a victory at home over the Cardinals. They're not going to do anything in the playoffs, and expecting them to is foolish. I'm already excited for next season. I think they're going to... Like, I have already said to everybody after the loss, we were slapping hands, hugging, and crying. And I already said, well, guys, there's always next year. Because the Eagles ain't going to do shit this season, man. If they do, it'll be very shocking and surprising to me. I don't think they're going to do anything. What do you think, Mark?
You know, I can't in good conscience say that they are.
Yeah.
Looking at the way that they've been playing, especially these past couple games, obviously this isn't the team from last year. It's not.
Duh. But that's not what
And
I expect.
uh,
I'm not even expecting last year. Last year was the best team in Eagles history. Period. There is no question. There is no competition. Sorry, 2004. Sorry, 2017. This was the best Eagles team that has ever played football. It is. Sorry. They had the best record. They had the most sacks almost of any team in NFL history. But since like the 60s, I think it was by the end of the season, they had the most sacks of any team. But it's ridiculous what they were able to do last season. And I went into this season telling everybody, no, don't expect this. It's not going to happen again. I'd be surprised if they got more than 10 wins. This is going to be a 10-win season. Don't get your hopes up. They have 2 new coordinators. We don't know what they're going to be. We have so many rookies on the defense and like scrubs on the defense. We don't know what's going to happen, and they brought back the retirement home to be on defense as well. So, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there that I told you so. I knew this was going to happen. Fuck you. I don't care if a win is a win. 10-1 these nuts. I warned you all. I told you all that they were not going to do anything with 2 new coordinators. It wasn't going to happen. No team does well with 2 new coordinators. And you didn't believe me. You said, a win's a win, Tom. A win's a win, Tom. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. And I was right.
yeah. I mean,
And I'm sick and fucking tired of pretending that it's just like, you can't just plug and play coordinators. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. No, absolutely. God, but it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
It's ridiculous.
Because you see the talent that we have on offense. And
yeah. And defense. Let's be fair here.
No, sure.
Do you know what the most
talent on both sides of the ball, and yet we're sitting at 11-5. Sure, new coordinators, but where is Josh Sweat in this second half of the season?
Where is he in the first half? Where is any of these people in the entire season?
Well, Josh Sweat, I think, had I don't
give a fuck.
Sacks.
I've had enough of this. Stop defending them for any part of the season. This is unacceptable.
Okay.
Let me put it to you this way. The reason that the offense didn't put up more than 24 points, even though they were playing phenomenal football, is because the defense blew fucking cock. They sucked dick on the field on every single fucking drive. They didn't... Okay, listen. The Cardinals did not have a single punt in the entire game. Not one punt in the entire football game. Not even once did the Cardinals have to punt. And the reason that they didn't score another 7 points on top of the 35 that they already scored is because of some fluke's weird interception where Kyler Murray just threw it into the middle of fucking nowhere like a goofball, and Sidney Brown took it off and had a phenomenal run. It was a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Great. Woohoo. Good job. But the Cardinals were going to score a touchdown on that drive. They were going to. Anybody with eyeballs would tell you that. Anybody. We know that they outplayed the Eagles, and they would have scored 42 points had the Eagles not had that weird-ass interception. And then on top of that, the defense is the reason that the offense didn't score more points. The offense didn't get a chance to touch the goddamn motherfucking ball. If you look at the time of possession, you'll see that the Cardinals had possession of the ball for 39 minutes and 39 seconds versus the Eagles having control of the ball for 20 minutes and 21 seconds. That is literally a 20-minute difference in time of possession. You will never win a football game when the other team has twice the time of possession as you. This game was the defense's fault.
Yeah. No, I'm
Fault. The
willing to
offense didn't do anything horrible in this game. And I know that Jalen Hurts' stat line, it's going to go down as 18 for 23, 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But that interception was on a Hail Mary on the last play of the game. You can barely count that. Like, it does go in the stat sheet, of course. But, like, come on, dude. Like, don't bust his balls. The man got 3 touchdowns on only 167 yards. Leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah. And
he played a monster of a game. I'm just saying. I know he only got 167 yards, but he fucking ripped and ran. He played well.
I like that little Philly light that they pulled.
Oh yeah, where they gave it to Gainwell and he tossed it up there. Yeah, that was great. Who knew Kenny Gainwell was a lefty with some heat on his hands?
That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, that was great. Do you know what my favorite surprise of the game was? When they're on the last drive of the football game and Brian Johnson dials up a QB draw, a dialed up QB draw on 1st and 20 with 37 seconds left on the clock. And then after it fails and he it doesn't really do a whole lot of anything, he then dials up 2 screen plays. Not to Dallas Goedert, not to A.J. Brown, not to Devonta Smith, the superstars of the offense, but to Kenny Gainwell, the backup running back.
Yeah, no.
What the fuck was he thinking? A high school football coach knows not to call those plays there. Who is our coordinator? Who is this guy?
I don't know.
He needs to be swapped out immediately.
Swapped out? Why not fired?
Because you can put him back in the quarterback's coach position, okay, where he was succeeding, and Jalen Hurts had an MVP season with that setup, and let someone else become the offensive coordinator. He's clearly a good quarterback's coach.
Yeah, it's like...
It just makes no sense.
I saw this one comment, right? It's like, we need to... Let's get on to what we probably agree is the biggest problem with the Eagles. It's coaching.
Right? I don't agree anymore.
You don't agree anymore?
The defense doesn't want to play.
Okay, but isn't that also a coaching thing?
No, I think they don't have the talent. I think the players aren't good enough.
Well, that's a complete 180.
I mean, dude, they lost to the fucking Cardinals heavily. Easily. This was one of the biggest comebacks I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, I understand, but I don't think it's because of the talent.
Well, I'm not saying it's just because of the talent. I'm saying that I now think that it's not just coaching.
Sure.
I mean, right now, the guy they put in there, Matt Patricia, he is one of the most accomplished defensive coordinators in the league right now. The dude has 3 Super Bowl rings. He knows what he's doing. He's been a head coach before. He knows what he's doing. You can't blame him. How many... Here, let me ask you this. How many defensive coordinators are they going to go through before we admit that we just don't have the talent? We already went through 1 this season. And that's already something of a marvel in and of itself to go through 1 in their first fucking year, mid-season. That's already weird and an anomaly to begin with, to replace them mid-season in their first fucking year as a coordinator. But when we bring in a guy who has 3 Super Bowl rings and has literally been doing this during those 3 Super Bowl rings and has head coach experience, and the defense still isn't performing, when do we say that it's the talent? It's the players. They are not getting it done.
Well, they've had Matt Patricia for what, 3 games?
2 games.
2 games. Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
What do you mean you don't give a fuck?
You can't blame him for this.
I'm not blaming him.
Okay? I'm just saying you need to be open to accept that there is a problem with the players on defense.
I
They
mean,
aren't
sure.
playing up to expectation. Last season, Bradbury looked like a fucking superstar cornerback. This season, he looks like they literally pulled him out of the surgery room. And you know what? I think that there was a problem there all along. And I think that the reason that we didn't see it last year is because the defensive line was so fucking good last year and performing so ridiculously high above expectation that the cornerbacks looked good. Because the quarterback can't pass if he's laying in the dirt. But this season, now that we've asked them to step up all of a sudden, they can't fucking do it. I think they were hidden. They were masked by a really stellar D-line last season. And this season, even though we have almost exactly the same fucking players on our D-line, they can't get it fucking done. You cannot tell me that Javon Hargrave was the reason that this defense was good. You can't convince me of that. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
One guy cannot make that much of a difference like that. You can't tell me. And then on top of that, last season, the Eagles also had something really stellar. They had C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He was fucking fantastic. Yeah, the fans don't like him because of some things that he said online. Yeah, he's a little bit of a fuck. He's a good-ass linebacker. He is a good-ass player. He was literally the heart and soul of the middle of our defense. Every scheme that you could draw up, you could count on that guy being able to make a play on the ball. You could count on that guy being able to stop somebody. This season, we do not have that person. I want you, Marcus, I challenge you to point at one singular person that's not on the D-line on the Eagles and tell me that person is a top 5 in their position. They are amazing. They are good. I rely on that person. I trust that that person can get the job done and won't let somebody just run right past them. Give me one name.
Mm.
That's what I thought. Because they fucking blow. And I'm tired of pretending that there's not an issue. Like, dude, when they're 10-1, you can sit back and say, hee, we're 10-1. Whatever, shut up, fans. Stupid assholes. But our eyeballs have told us the truth. And now they're exposed. Now everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And I'm sick and tired of defending them. Because I've sat here for weeks and I've said, oh, the defense isn't that bad. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, what are we complaining about? Look at our record. We're going to win the NFC. But fuck you. Defense sucks. They can't stop the fucking Cardinals who had 3 wins going into this game. Now they got 4. Man, so I guess that's better, losing to a 4-win team instead of a 3-win team. I guess that's good for somebody who was expected to win the Super Bowl, right? That's better to lose to a 4-win team than a 3-win team. I mean, it's better. But they suck, and I'm tired of pretending that they don't. And another thing, now that you brought up the coaching, I gotta mention this because in the third quarter, the Eagles used a timeout. With 5, I think it was more than 2 minutes left on the clock. The Eagles used their second timeout in the fourth quarter. And then they used their third and final timeout at 37 seconds. The third and final is the only one of those that makes any fucking sense at all. Why the fuck are you calling timeouts in the third quarter? Why the fuck are you calling timeouts when it looks like the Cardinals are going to score a touchdown and put you to shame so that you can maybe stop the clock later when you get the ball back? What the fuck are they doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What is like, oh my god, dude, they called a timeout. I'm literally sitting there screaming at the fucking television screen, and Mark knows this. He's watched me watch football. I was literally sitting there fucking screaming at the television screen. And I just don't understand. And another thing that I have to say, though, I don't want to really focus on this because normally he's real fucking solid. But Devonta Smith dropping that deep pass that went right through his hands, that's literally the difference between the Eagles losing and winning this game. If he catches that pass, the Eagles are set up to win the game. Am I wrong?
No.
I mean, I hate to flame the guy because he's fucking awesome. But he you know, stinkied it up on that play. So this is something that me and Mark were talking a little bit about before the show started. The Eagles, they're now going to be a 5th place team in football because the Commanders are going to lose to the Cowboys. They now have to do nothing but away games, no matter who they play against. I swear to Christ, if the Eagles are in a game against the Cowboys in the playoffs, I'm not watching it. The Eagles are going to have to go to Texas. They're going to have to play the Cowboys in their home stadium where they have not lost a single game all season. And they're going to have to go there and try and beat the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys are good. I cannot watch the Eagles get killed by them in the playoffs. I can't do it. My heart would pop like a balloon. Couldn't do it. Because if they have to go to Texas and play the Cowboys, they will lose. They already did. We've already seen how that story goes. Earlier this season on December the 10th when they lost to the Cowboys 33-13. That was a pathetic loss, and that's exactly what's going to happen again in the postseason. I'm really hoping. So we saw Avonte Maddox come back in this game. Clearly didn't make too much of a difference, but I mean it was his first game back all season. I'll give him a little bit of a break. Darius Slay is about to come back. I am really hoping that Darius Slay being out is what the difference in the backfield was for the defense. Because if Darius Slay comes back and they still can't stop anybody on defense, it's over. However, and let me be the eternal optimist here, I am actually very optimistic for next season. I think at the end of this season, they cut or trade James Bradberry. He's gone. Or they keep him as a backup on a revised contract that pays like way less than what he's currently making. I am very, very impressed by what I've seen so far from Eli Ricks. I actually think that he's going to prove to be a very good player. He has really shown me that not only is he talented enough to play at the NFL level, but he cares. Like, he actually gets upset and shit when he doesn't block the pass. I like him. He is my pocket pick for next season to be a breakout star. I think he's going to really show us something that we want to see. But yeah, that's about it. That's the entire silver lining. Oh, and Jalen Hurts played well. That's the entirety of the silver lining of the Eagles. Honestly, as a Eagles fan, I think the Cowboys should sit their starters against the Commanders. Just saying. Oh, and also, because we were talking about this before the show started, not during. If I see one more fucking quarterback draw a designed quarterback run in a first and long or anything and long situation, I'm serious. I'm going to burn things down. It makes my eyes bleed when I see a designed quarterback run. Mark has literally seen me get animated. He has sat next to me, my brother in arms, and watched me talk about these QB draws all season. Every single time one happens, even if he gains 20 yards on the run. I fucking hate the QB draw. This is fucking stupid. You're gonna get him hurt out there. What are you doing? But, dude, I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna fucking screech like a banshee. What the fuck is up with these QB draws? Is that the only play Brian Johnson has in the entire playbook?
No, he has the tush push.
He has the bubble screens too. You're right, and the tush push. Wow, wow.
I mean, seriously, like, there is nothing in the playbook aside from the tush push.
No, that's not true. There's the tush push, a designed QB draw, and a screen, a bubble screen. You can always run a bubble screen out of Brian Johnson's offense that will get you maybe a yard if you're lucky.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, Brian Johnson is an offensive genius, dude. He has so many plays in his playbook, like the bubble screen to the fuck is his name? Julio Jones. Or don't forget the bubble screen to Kenny Gainwell, or the bubble screen to Devonta Smith. I'm just saying. That's 3 different plays right there. I swear, patented 3 different plays. Copyright 3 different.
I will admit, seeing Julio Jones get those TDs,
2 touchdowns for the old bastard. Dude, I was really hoping.
Like,
On that last drive of the game, man, I was sitting there like, dude, if Julio Jones gets a 3rd touchdown pass in this fucking game, I am going to light it up. But he didn't, and the Eagles lost, and they suck.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, and I really do mean this. The Eagles might end the season as the single worst 12-win team ever.
Yeah.
And you know, well, hold on. Do you have anything else about the Eagles before we continue?
I mean, there's not much that you haven't already said.
I just wanted to reiterate one more time. They can't tackle. Literally, if you watch, there is one specific play where I was ripping the hairs out of my fucking head. Shaq Leonard has a man run right the fuck past him, and he literally just and then just lets go. He literally did not try. I don't know if you noticed it or not. There was a play where he literally did not try.
I mean, I've been bitching about the tackling all season.
Yeah, but Shaq Leonard knew, and he was supposed to reinvigorate the defense. He was supposed to be the big, scary linebacker that we needed, and he's not.
I know.
We got the 2 back surgeries, Shaq Leonard.
But like,
not the all-star Shaq Leonard.
Like, I just given up. Like, failed tackle. Okay.
I just wish that the Eagles valued the linebacker position as much as other teams do. Like, look at the Ravens. Their linebackers are insane. Look at the Bears, even though they suck. Great linebackers. Why do the Eagles not prioritize linebackers? I think the Bears over-prioritize linebackers, just for reference. But, like, dude, just get a fucking line. We had the guy last season, man, and you let him fucking walk. I told you, man. I said it that when they lost the Super Bowl last year, I said they were done. I said nothing was going to happen this season. God damn it. I knew it. Though I am optimistic and I'll pretend that I'm believing. But all right. Let's move on. My next thing that I wanted to talk about and bring up, at least, this is going to be pretty brief, I think. Like I just said, the Eagles might end the season as the single worst 12-win team ever.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the weakest NFL season I have ever seen. There is no team that I have watched all season where I'm like, damn, that's a good ass football team. Not even the Ravens, which I have a lot of respect for. They're a very good football team. But I think that if the Ravens were to play against a lot of other Super Bowl champion teams, they'd lose. This is a weak ass season in the NFL. Am I wrong here? Am I crazy for saying this?
I mean, I can't speak to that.
Oh yeah, I guess you're newer.
I haven't
But
been
like,
watching football as long as you have.
dude, it's amazing to me, especially compared to last season where you had these teams that were just complete juggernauts smacking everybody around. This season, we got fucking nothing. We got teams that are okay beating teams that are in high school. I'm sorry, dude. The Panthers are a high school football team. They are. Like, they literally gave 14 wins to random teams. They distributed them out this season. So here, actually, I'm really curious. Hold on.
Poor Panthers.
Let's see. Fuck the Panthers. They gave 2 free wins to the Saints, which makes it possible for them to maybe win the division. Jesus Christ. They gave up a win to the Lions. They gave up a win to the Cowboys. Seahawks. They gave up losses to all of these fucking teams that are going to be in the playoffs. I guarantee you, if the Panthers just didn't exist and you wiped all of the wins that they've donated to teams, the playoff picture would look extremely different. Honestly, we'd be a game up on the Cowboys right now if we also got to play the Panthers. They're just donating wins to random teams. It's bullshit. I wish we got to play the Panthers or the Titans or the Chargers. We did get to play the Patriots and the Jets, though. Uh-oh. The Jets are our Achilles heel, evidently. And to be fair, the Commanders are also donating a lot of wins. And they're in our division, so we got 2 free wins off of them.
Yeah, well, you know, if we had played all these weak teams, then everybody'd be like, "Oh, you're just feasting on weak competition." Can we say
I don't give a fuck. Do you know what feasting on weak competition gets you? An NFC championship title and a home game in it. That's what that gets you. I don't give a fuck how I get there. Do you know what I care about, Mark? I care about rings, bitch. Do you think anybody goes back and looks at the 2017 Eagles season and goes, oh, well, actually, they beat a bunch of weak teams that season, so they aren't a real Super Bowl champ? No, they won a fucking ring, bitch. Nobody gives a fuck. And when all is said and done, no one cares if you feasted on weak teams. Though I do have to admit, I will give the Eagles a small break in that they had a really rough schedule this season. Like, it's one thing to be a football team and play against the best teams in the entire league throughout the season, but to play them back to back to back to back to back, that's tough, dude.
Bro, could you imagine if we had the Ravens in there too?
There'd just be no hope of a divisional win at that point if the Cowboys have the same opponents they had all season. Like, dude, God, It drives me nuts because we started the season with these teams that are stinky, right? But if you actually look at it, here, let's first 2 weeks we played the Patriots and then the Vikings. The Vikings lost their starting quarterback and they still almost made it into the playoffs. So I'm going to consider that a pretty big win to beat the Vikings. But the Patriots, they're a joke. So one joke, one good team to start the season. Then the Buccaneers, who are probably going to win their division. We beat them soundly, 25-11. Then we almost lost to the Commanders, who are one of the worst teams in football. Then we beat the Rams, who were on the sickest tear ever, and they're probably going to get into the playoffs, so that's another playoff team. We then get beat by the fucking bum-ass Jets. Where did that come from? We beat the Dolphins, who had a chance to become the AFC #1 seed, and we beat the shit out of them. Like, honestly, our biggest victory of the entire season was beating the Dolphins 31-17. Another playoff team, so that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 playoff teams. Then the Cowboys, then the Chiefs, then the Bills, then the 49ers, then the Cowboys, then the Seahawks. So in this season, out of 17 games, we have literally played 10 playoff teams. 10 of our 17 teams are going to the playoffs. Whereas, here, let's look at some other people's schedules here. Let's see. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For comparison's sake, the Cowboys have played 7 teams that are going to the playoffs this season. 7. If you don't know, the Cowboys currently have a tied record with the Eagles. Do you know what that tells me? They were practically gifted 3 games. I'm just saying. But to get back to my original point, we played all of these extremely difficult teams in a row. We had to go Dolphins, Commanders, then Cowboys immediately. So pretty difficult, pretty close-knit games. Then it goes Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys again, Seahawks. Dude, that's hard on players. That's going to hurt your players. Like, they're probably feeling some pain after those games. I mean, Darius Slay, he got killed twice this season. He had to have emergency surgery on his fucking knee at one point in the season. And he still came out and played right after. He needed to get more medical attention this past, 2 weeks. So it's just this is what I said at the beginning of the season. The Eagles really needed to prioritize rest throughout this season so that they could get through the gauntlet. And they didn't do it enough. Their players are beat to hell. So by the time they go through the Cowboys and the Chiefs and the Bills, 3 games in a row, keep in mind those games, 3 games in a row, we didn't even have full weeks in between those. It goes 22 to 29, so that's a full week. And then 5. We literally had 6 days to the last opponent. And then we get our bye week. Okay. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Hold on, I'm dumb. We had our bye week before then. I'm being stupid. So it goes 5, 20. Yeah, it goes. So we go on November 20th to the Chiefs. 6 days later, we play the Bills. And then 7 days later, we play the 49ers. And then 7 days later, we play the Cowboys. There is no breaks there. There is no 8-day break. It's just one solid week every time. However, in the meantime, both of the Cowboys and the 49ers in the back-to-back games that the Eagles had to play against them, the Cowboys and the 49ers each had extended breaks going into the Eagles game. They all had that extra rest time. And quite frankly, the Eagles they're falling apart because their players are dead. They're geriatric, dude. They need to go back to the nursing home. They're
Yeah.
too beat up. And this is exactly what I was worried about in the beginning of the season. I was really worried that they were going to start the season slow, and I thought they would finish it hard, but the complete opposite happened. They started it really hard, and now they're all tired out. They're all tuckered out and need to take a nap now. And it's a problem. I'd always rather get hot at the end of a season than the start of a season.
Yeah.
And they're boned. They're boned. All right, so what do you got, Mark? I know I just took up like 40 minutes on just the Eagles.
No, it's completely fine. Like I just,
I went off on this one. My
I don't
film study
have-
was intense.
I don't have anything to say. This is perhaps the worst week of football.
Why? Because the Eagles got killed by the Cardinals?
The Eagles lose to the Cardinals. Miami loses to Baltimore, but you know what? Fine. I expected us to lose. I didn't. I wanted it.
I mean, you didn't think it would be 56-19, though, right?
I didn't. I turned. My dad and I. We sat down to watch the game, and we're both like, "Oh, we're going to lose." But I turned to him and I say, "But it's going to be a shootout."
No.
And you know what? Offense, you let me down.
At least C.J. Stroud is good.
You know, C.J. Stroud comes back and he shows why.
That was a good football game.
He shows why he's the future of the Texans.
Dude, you know what else? I did actually. I know I said earlier I didn't watch any other games because I was so sad about the Eagles, but I actually did catch the 49ers and Commanders a little bit. What the fuck happened to the 49ers this week?
Yeah, fuck them. They're frauds.
They got stymied.
They're frauds, and the Ravens told them that. They showed them that.
All right, guys, come on, bro. I mean, yeah, they are fraudulent, but they still put up 27 points in that game. It's not like they played like total shit. I'm just surprised they didn't mop the floor with the Commanders.
Yeah. And
oh god, the Steelers beating the Seahawks.
See, Pittsburgh beats Seattle. The Lions have their game.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the Lions game.
From them, fuck you. What's the referee's name?
I don't know his name. Is it Hockley?
No, it wasn't Hockley. It was some scrub. Actually, hold up, wait a second. I had read somewhere on ESPN that that guy and his entire ref team aren't gonna be given any work next season. And you know what? Deserve. Fucking deserve. I don't care if it's on the players to report themselves as eligible. All right? The refs need to give the players the opportunity to report themselves.
No, you're not understanding. You're not understanding. So this is a thing that I've seen a lot of people misunderstand what the refs were trying to say. So from what I understand, the way that the rule works is that every play, you're only allowed to make so many substitutions, right? And when an O lineman walks up to the ref and says, "Hey, I'm reporting in as eligible," that's a substitution. So when both of those O linemen went up to the ref to report, the Lions were already at their substitution limit. And the ref was saying, "No, you can't report." So they were really confused and ran the play anyway, not understanding the rule because the ref, to be fair, didn't explain it well enough when he told them that. He should have said, "You're at your substitution limit." But he didn't. And so the Lions ran the play and committed a penalty by him not reporting eligible. He didn't report as eligible because he wasn't allowed to report as eligible. Like, there were already too many substitutions. That's what the understanding I've come to about this is.
If that's the case, then it's still on the fucking ref for not explaining why he couldn't report himself as eligible.
Sure, but at the same time, the players should know the rules. And the coach should definitely know the rules too.
Sure, but the whole point of the refs is to enforce the rules. It's to make sure.
I'm not defending them. I'm just saying that a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what happened there. It's not, haha, dumb ref rigged the game. It's Dumb ref can't explain rules properly. The game
I bet
wasn't
you if it
rigged.
was,
The ref is just a fuckhead.
I bet you if it was Ed Hockley, they would have been fine. Poor
Probably.
man. But dude, why can't we just clone him and use him for every game? Just just
I wish.
just take a
The
little
largest
bit
cloning operation in human history.
just take a little bit of his
Ed
DNA
Hockley.
and just make him the ref for the rest of the time.
Well, train him to be an Eagles fan and then let him ref every game.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's
The Lions really should have won that game, and you know what? I
it's
feel
like
like a total fucking clown as an Eagles fan for saying that it would be better if the Cowboys won that game. No, it wouldn't have, because if the Cowboys lost that game, we'd be in charge of the division still. Be careful what you ask for, Eagles fans.
yeah, you know what? I think I do have to say that like some blame should go onto Dan Campbell. Like I get
He
it.
should have known the rules.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the multiple 2-point conversion attempts when they kept getting fucked on them. Just take the one and go to overtime.
I've been saying this all season. There are so many teams that just leave points on the field because they get so greedy. They have to go for the 2 point, or in some cases, instead of going for the field goal, they go for a touchdown. The one for where they don't go take the field goal and go for a touchdown instead, those are the ones that really drive me crazy because you're dumb if you do that. Um, but the 2 point conversion thing, I just don't get it. I mean, what obviously happened there is that their analytics team said, hey, your chances of winning are better if you go for two here than they are if you just take the extra point. But quite frankly, as a football coach, you have to just look at the situation and go, hey, fuck the stats this time. We're just going to go ahead and run a smart play because we're not fucking stupid. I mean, if it doesn't work and you lose the game anyway, you're really going to look dumb. But because then you can't even say the analytics guys did it to you, because I guarantee you, I haven't watched all of his press conferences or anything, but I guarantee you that after this game, Dan Campbell came out and was asked about the 2 point attempts, and I guarantee you at some point he said, like, that's just what the analytics said to do in that situation, blah 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 blah. But if he goes loose cannon, he kind of can't use that excuse. He kind of just has to say, yeah, I'm a fucking dumbass, I didn't listen to the analytics guys. Fuck them. Fuck the analytics guys. Make a good football decision.
Whatever.
Fuck Dan Campbell. Fuck the Cowboys. Fuck Mike McCarthy. Fuck the refs. Fuck the Cardinals.
Fuck a lot of teams.
Fuck them.
So,
Dude, if the
Ja-
Commanders somehow beat the Cowboys this week, though, I'm going to be screaming.
oh, bro, I'm gonna fucking send Dan Rivera a fucking gift card.
Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera. I'm gonna
Yeah,
send him a
he just
fucking
gets a bunch of gift cards from fucking like Eagles fans. He gets a bunch of gift boxes. Ron Rivera used to be an Eagles coach, if you didn't know.
It's like when Dougie P with the
The Jaguars with the standing ovation.
No, when I think it was last year they beat the Cowboys and a bunch of people sent cheesesteaks to him and the team.
I didn't know that. That's genius. Well, for the first game that the Jaguars played the Eagles, it was a home game. After Doug went down there, the fans gave him a standing ovation because he was the coach when we won the Super Bowl. So
yeah. Ron Rivera, if you win, you got a gift card with your name on it, bro. I got you.
Yeah, I got a Best Buy gift card with your name on it.
It won't be for much, but I'll say.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think that the Commanders are gonna try.
Oh, I hope they do. I hope come.
Honestly, I hope that the Cowboys don't bother preparing very well because they're just expecting the Commanders to roll over, and the Commanders catch them by surprise. I think that's the best possible opportunity for winning.
Yeah.
Man, why don't they have the conference leaders locked in already for who they're like what days they're gonna play in the playoffs?
I think it's because the wild card slots haven't been fully decided.
Yeah, I know, but we know who the conference champs are anyway. Like not the conference champions, but I mean in a divisional round, the number 1 seed. Why aren't they already put on the board? They're guaranteed a spot.
Well, they're guaranteed a spot, but I'm guessing the NFL is still trying to decide where,
When to play them, yeah.
like who gets to face them. Really.
Oh God, next week's Fumble forecast is gonna be so stupid. The only 2 teams we have to talk about next week are gonna be the Eagles and the Cowboys, really, and maybe the Dolphins.
Well, it all depends. So like, there's a couple. There's like a couple of things. Like if Cleveland wins out and Baltimore somehow loses,
Dude, come on,
they that
quit
I
dreaming.
know, I understand.
No, it's not possible. The Ravens have clinched.
Oh, they've clinched it.
Yeah, they're up by 2 games over their next
Oh,
closest
okay.
opponent. Browns have
Yeah.
11 wins, Ravens have 13.
Okay.
It's not even possible. They are guaranteed to be the winner. And the Chiefs
Well,
are guaranteed to be the winner of their division.
well, we still we do
Lions
get
too.
we do get to talk about that Miami game because if the Bills win, they go to number 2 in the playoffs.
Dude, who did the 49ers play in this last week? The Rams.
Yeah,
Dude,
the Rams.
I want you to really understand the gravity of this situation, Marcus. If the Eagles had beaten the Cardinals, we'd be tied for the number 1 seed with the 49ers right now, and they would have to actually play against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers aren't even going to play their starters in this game.
No, I know. I understand.
I hope they play Purdy and Aaron Donald breaks his arm.
That would be the best.
Beautiful. I guarantee you he'd be back for the playoffs, though. There's no way he would miss a playoff game. No chance. Not 2 seasons in a row, man. He would never.
Have to be playing in a cast.
Yeah, no, he'd be out there with a broken arm playing. There's no way he'd let that narrative continue of him being Mr. Irrelevant. I love that that's his nickname, by the way. It's genius. So who do you think's going to be MVP this season?
It's probably going to go to Lamar.
I hope it does. He deserves it.
I would rather it go to CJ for turning around.
He's going to get Rookie of the Year.
I know, but he did turn around a poverty franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that like 3 weeks ago. He's rock star.
No, I know, but you know what? Seeing Lamar play, especially leading up to the playoffs,
he's a rock star right now, man.
If anybody gets it over him, shoot and kill him. Like
whoa.
like
dude, what if they give it to like fucking Brock Purdy still?
I swear to God, if it goes to Purdy
or Dak Prescott.
Fuck.
Dude, there was an argument that people were trying to make for a while that CeeDee Lamb should get the MVP this season. Why? For doing what?
I'll fucking burn down something.
Yeah. Me too. I'll commit arson.
There's nobody more deserving, and it hurts me after what he just did to the Dolphins. It hurts me to say that.
He does deserve it.
He fucked us raw.
No, dude. Do you know who deserves MVP more than anyone else in the league?
Who's that?
Kadarius Toney of the Chiefs. He deserves most valuable player for the Broncos.
For any
He was the
team that-
most valuable player in keeping the Broncos' playoff dreams alive.
Bro, please. Please let the organization just send him like a little trophy, like a little participation.
Oh, he's out of here.
No, I understand, but like just send it to him like thanks for keeping the ride alive.
yeah. It just says keep riding. It just says Broncos country. Let's ride. They said, can you please go to the Raiders next season? We need you to fuck their franchise up next. Dude, that's unbelievable. He is so bad.
Yeah. No,
Like, dude, how do you line up offsides? That's his legacy. He is forever going to be known as the guy who doesn't know how to line up.
yeah. No.
That's who he is now.
Oh, God.
But yeah, the Cowboys put on possibly the worst victory I've ever seen in a critical playoff deciding football game against the Lions. Though to be fair, the Lions also put up one of the worst games I've ever seen in a playoff deciding game. They both played like shit. And I feel like a clown for rooting for the Cowboys to win that game. We'd win the division if they had lost. At least then we'd have a chance. We'd be third place. God, I can't believe we went from 10-1 to, oh my God, we're a wild card team.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like when you see a millionaire go broke and like you see it in the news. Man bags groceries after being a millionaire and losing it all. That's the Eagles right now. We're Allen Iverson bagging groceries.
Oh, God.
All right, do you got anything else for tonight?
I don't want to watch football, no.
Oh, well, we forgot that we had to talk about the Dolphins game.
We don't.
I mean, Lamar Jackson, 5 touchdowns, 321 yards. That's pretty impressive.
No, he fucked on us.
We gotta talk about this.
Dude, he fucked on us.
56-19. I mean, normally I would say that the interceptions are what killed you guys because Tua had 2 interceptions. But that motherfucker just, like, the 2 interceptions didn't even matter. Like, even if you took 14 points away from the Baltimore Ravens, they still killed you. Terrible. 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 So you actually watched the game. What was the issue? Was it just that the Dolphins couldn't punch it in the end zone? Like, what was going on? Because the Dolphins only had 3 punts.
It was completely the offense. Like, they just
couldn't punch it in.
They couldn't punch it in, and
like, were they getting to the red zone at least?
I don't remember, but I don't think so.
Because, like, I'm looking at the stats line here, and it's like, okay, 500 yards to 375 yards. Like, okay, that's not too insane of a difference. But you look at the interceptions and the fumbles, okay, the turnover differential for the Dolphins was 2. But if you look at time of possession, the Dolphins had the ball for 29.5 minutes. And the Ravens had the ball for 30.5 minutes. There was almost equal time of possession. What the fuck happened?
They just couldn't make it
20
work.
first downs? Not terrible. Not the worst performance I've ever seen. So how the fuck did they only get 19 points? As someone who didn't watch the game, it just makes no fucking sense to me.
The offense
By the
just
way, the Cardinals got 32 first downs on the Eagles.
bumbled. Let's see the final drive for the Dolphins. Turnover on downs. Uh, oh, they took two out at the end. I didn't even fucking react.
They took him out.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's injured?
No, I'm like they pulled him out.
Oh, what they put in like Skylar or something?
They put.
They didn't take him out. Nobody else passed for the Dolphins.
I'm seeing here in the play-by-play somebody named C. Brooks.
Chris Brooks, he's a running back. Maybe they just had a trick play where he passed.
C. Brooks, right tackle to Miami 34. Brooks.
No, he's a running back.
Oh.
He's a Miami Dolphins running back. You silly goose. Born in the year 2000. Oh. Oh.
No, whatever. Like it's just
I'm getting old. It's happening.
they got to the end zone and just couldn't come finish it. The red zone.
That's lame. Stinky, winky Dolphins. Ugh. And then, do you know what the worst thing is? I get home, right? And rent gets posted. And I had to pay fucking rent. The day couldn't get worse. The Eagles ruined my vacation.
Yeah.
Barely squeaking out a win against the Giants and losing to the Cardinals with a bookends of a horrible holiday. I really thought they were going to lose to the Giants in that game, dude. I'm not going to lie. I had panic in my nutsack. What, Marcus, you look like a stone man over there. What's going on?
Nothing
You look like
much.
one of the Maui statues, the Easter Island statues.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I was just looking at something.
Okay, so let's talk playoffs really quick. I mean, the power rankings are just too easy. It's obviously the Ravens at number one. I don't really think anyone even begins to... Like, if I could go number one is Ravens, and then number three is the next person because they don't even deserve the second place space behind the Ravens, I would. But it's obviously the Ravens for power rankings, so let's not even waste our time. Who do you think is going to get the third wild card in each conference?
Third wild card in each conference. Let's see. Pull up the schedule. So we have Colts, Texans, and Steelers as
Yeah,
being
pretty much.
fighting for the number 3.
Yeah, the final
And
slot. I mean, the Dolphins and the Bills are about to decide who gets one of the wild cards.
So let's see.
I think it's the Texans, man.
I think so too. I think that I think
The Steelers are just too stinky.
I think that and they play Baltimore this weekend. Whereas the Colts
Yeah,
and
but Baltimore's not going to start their starters. Or if the Ravens play their starters this week, fire Jim Harbaugh immediately. Don't even let him play the rest of the season or coach the rest of the season. They've clinched the conference.
I think it'll be the Texans. And then for the NFC,
If the Texans win, do they tie with the Steelers if the Steelers win? Who wins in a Steelers-Texans
they
match like tie?
Texans win the tiebreaker over Pittsburgh.
Do they win the tiebreaker over the Jags? Or wait, the Jags are going to win it. Whoever wins is going to win the division probably. Who has the tiebreaker, the Jags or the Texans?
The Jaguars have the tiebreakers over
Over the Texans?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, Indianapolis isn't going to get it. The Texans are going in. I'm going to be real with you. I think the Texans are an AFC championship team. I think they're that good. I think they found their stride. Or should I say they found their Stroud.
And then let's see. For the NFC, we have
God, I love that
Seattle.
Man.
Green Bay, Seattle.
Oh, the NFC, you say.
New Orleans. So, Green Bay is playing Chicago. That's probably a win for them. Seahawks.
I think it's most likely that the Seahawks get it.
Yeah, the Seahawks play Arizona. Most likely a win. And then the Saints play... Fuck, where are the Saints? There they are. They play Atlanta.
Do you know what makes me more upset than anything? Let me put it to you this way. If I was a Seahawks fan and they continued to try, I'd be pissed. You know why?
Why?
They're not going to win the Super Bowl. Give me draft picks. Like, for me, it's an all or nothing kind of deal, you know? Like, if my team isn't going to at least... Like if they don't have the potential, you feel, to win the NFC Championship and go to the Super Bowl at the very least, just tank. Just have one win. Just get the first draft pick.
I think it's going to be Green Bay.
Why? Does Green Bay have a tiebreaker over Seattle?
They have it. They have it over both of them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It probably is going to be Green Bay then.
And
I'm less.
And Chicago
confident.
has the first pick, first draft pick. So
what did they get it traded to them by somebody?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they
Panthers?
got it from. I'm pretty sure they got it from the Panthers and.
Okay, that's fine. Who cares? That doesn't matter anyway. I'm talking about from the beginning of the season perspective. Like, just tank if you don't think you can get all the way. Like, by the time that week, 8 rolls around, you know if you're a good team or not. But yeah, I actually think that the Packers might lose to the Bears. I know that sounds like complete craziness, but the Bears, even though they are 7-9, are not a complete dog shit team. They beat the Lions. The Bears aren't dog shit.
So if you think Green Bay loses,
it's Seattle for sure.
Yeah. So you think
for sure.
So you think Seattle and New Orleans win, or just Seattle wins? Do you think that?
Does Seattle have a tiebreaker over the Saints?
They do.
Yeah, then Seattle wins. I think the Packers are more likely to lose to the Bears than
Seattle is to the Arizona.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I just think the Bears are going to jump the Packers. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. There is no logical reason. to feel this way. No reason at all. I am defying all logic and reasoning on this. I just have a ball sack feeling that the Bears are going to beat the Packers. Like, the thing is, the Packers just had their Super Bowl. They beat the Vikings and they celebrated way too hard. So they're going to lose. And if the Packers lose and the Saints and Buccaneers win, that means that the NFC North was actually a worse division than the NFC South. And that really saddens me. Because that would mean that the NFC South would have 2 teams under 500 and the NFC North would have 3 teams that were under 500. How do you have 3 teams in your division that are under 500? That's so bad.
Yeah.
God. But the Saints are probably going to lose because they fucking blow cock. I don't care who they play against, even if it's another team that blows cock. It doesn't matter. All right. So let's talk deeper this season. Let's go a little bit further. Who in the world do you think is in the championships? Who's going to be in the NFC Championship? Who's going to be in the AFC Championship game? I think Ravens are an obvious shoe-in, easy pick. And I think that the 49ers are an easy shoe-in, obvious pick.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to be playing them?
If Miami doesn't show up in this game against Buffalo,
You think the Bills?
I think it's either going to be the Bills or the Browns that face the Ravens.
The Browns are a good pick. The AFC, I think, is more of a wild card up in the air competition than the NFC. I think the NFC has 3 teams in it that are actually worth looking at. And that is, I know I just talked about them for 40 minutes, but the Eagles are worth their salt still, I think. The Lions and the 49ers. I think those are the only 3 teams in the entire NFC that are worth even talking about. The Cowboys suck. I don't care what Cowboys fans have to say about them because they're delusional and can accept nothing. Though I do like Dak Prescott. He is a good guy and he's a pretty decent quarterback. But I have zero faith in Mike McCarthy, and I think that overall, the Cowboys are just a okay team that played a whole shitload of really bad teams. I also feel that it's either going to be the Eagles or Lions who play the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. I think that the Eagles, the only path to victory that I see where they end up in the NFC Championship game is if the Cowboys lose this upcoming week to the Commanders and the Eagles get a divisional, like they get the home game against a team in the playoffs. If they get even one home game in the playoffs, I think the Eagles will appear in the NFC Championship game. If the Cowboys win and beat the Commanders, or the Eagles lose to the Giants, then I think that you're going to see the Lions in the NFC Championship game. But
Yeah,
so I take Eagles over Lions if the situation is right. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say it's like a 70% probability chance that the Lions are the ones who see the 49ers in the NFC Championship. And I'm going to take this a step further. I think the Lions win that game against the 49ers and go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, who's going to the Super Bowl from the NFC is a little more up in the air.
No, it isn't. It's either the Lions or the 49ers or the Eagles. Those are the only 3 teams that have a chance.
I know. I'm saying that for the AFC, there's one team going to the Super Bowl.
Nah, dude, I know
Like,
you're going to hate this. I still think it's the Dolphins.
I'm willing, like, hey, yeah. but I don't see
Dude, I'm still
if
betting on an Eagles
the
Dolphins Super
Dolphins
Bowl.
the Dolphins are in the same position as the Eagles. Like if they don't get home games, I don't see them going deep at all.
Um, I agree, but
Like
I think they're going to beat the Bills, and I think that they're going to go because I mean, dude, they're coming to Miami this week. If in the last game of the season you let the Bills come down to Miami and you let them beat you, you don't deserve to make it through the playoffs. Like you're bad. Like if the Dolphins lose to the Bills at home in a game that really matters, they're bad. They're not even an okay team. They're dog shit. You know what? Honestly, they're the same team as the Eagles if they lose this game to the Bills. Literally the exact same team.
yeah.
But I do think that the Dolphins beat the Bills this week. It's a home game for them. I'm confident that they're going to want to show their stuff after losing to the Ravens so hard. So I think they got this. And then on top of that, they got an 8-day rest period. Oh, no, they didn't even. They got a 7-day. Haha. Stinky. Oh, God. All right, anything else?
No.
Yeah,
One last week of normal football.
yeah, tighten it up, Eagles. Jesus Christ. Either tighten it up or hurry the fuck up and hire Glenn Schumann from the Georgia Bulldogs. Hurry the fuck up. Make him your defensive coordinator already. Please. I'm begging you. I was begging him last season, too. I knew those coordinators were gone after that season, man. It's such a shame. All right. But have a nice night. Remember that we love all of yous. And always hit the follow button on here. Hit that there subscriber button. Remember to follow us on anywhere where you get your podcasts. And, yeah. What should we start calling people who watch our Fumble forecast? Fumblers?
I
You
don't
guys
know.
are our fumblers. You fumble it all the time. Yeah.
Oh Lord. Ugh.
Yeah. Fumblers. All right. Well, bye, guys. See you next week on the Fumble
Bye-bye.
Forecast.